Hello, fellow StarCraft fanatics. Squiggles here with another replay for you. This one is going to be between aLtOxygeN, the blue Terran, in the bottom left, and up here at the top right we have inFiRevenant. inFiRevenant, I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't really know. This is a game on the Southeast Asia server, and inFiRevenant is actually #1 on Southeast Asia. He's the #1 player. I think he's like ranked 344 in the world, but #1 in Southeast Asia. So he is a baller, and aLtOxygeN is not ranked as high at all, but he does have like a 64% win rate, so pretty good for him as well. So this is going to be on Blistering Sands, and I'm expecting to see quite a good game between these two. They're both quite good players. We have a supply depot going down for aLtOxygeN, and for I'm just going to call him Reverent because it's easier. So for Reverent, we have some drones and an Overlord doing his thing. So let's see, we're going to have a barracks going down fairly quickly. I think it should be right, unless no. Ooh, okay. So aLtOxygeN is proxy raxing. So we're gonna have to see if he does a 2 racks build or if he's just gonna do a single racks and apply some early pressure. I don't know if this is gonna be scouted because, as you can see, if you look at the mini map, the scouting patterns for the overlords, one is going here. It's gonna go here, and then it should go like down this way to get behind the Terran base, and this other one is going to come this. It looks like it's going this way, so it may just miss it. And the hatchery is going down. He's going hatchery before spawning pool, so this proxy racks could actually do quite a bit, especially if it gets completed. It looks like he is sending out a drone to scout, but I do not think he is going to see it, not even close. And the proxy racks does finish, so we're going to have to see what exactly he does with that. And the scout comes in, and that's going to be maybe a little bit early. I don't know. No. Okay. Well, hatcheries do have a really short vision when they're spawning, but he does have this overlord here, and it doesn't even matter because he's literally right next to it. So here comes the bunker, and the first marine is already out, and Reverent is not gonna even send anything. No, wait. Now workers are being sent. Okay. Is it gonna be in time? It looks like this bunker will indeed finish. And it looks like another marine has just finished, and he's popping out as well. So there is the cancel, and the bunker with 2 marines and an SCV is able to thwart the early game plans of Reverent. And here he goes saying, oh, it's Skyping that messed him up, apparently. Not really paying attention. Oh, well, if you're really good, I guess you don't have to pay attention. But sometimes you lose your hatch. So, and he lost an overlord. So if you see at the top right, he is supply blocked. For now, he did get out some Zerglings, and these Zerglings are going to be enough to force these Marines to indeed fall back. 3 Marines running for their lives because 6 Zerglings is, well, if microed correctly, I don't know. But it looks like this bunker is going to be under attack, and I expect it to be salvaged, so there isn't really going to be any loss. So great pressure from the Terran early, not losing anything, and able to just make that hatchery, you know, start way later. Actually cancel, so he loses a few minerals and then start. So hopefully he cancels this. This should be free if he cancels, and if not, it's a 100 mineral loss. So hopefully he cancels. It looks like he does have a factory up at this point. aLtOxygeN does, and he's getting a tech lab for that factory as well. And this barracks is going to be floating back. He does see that the Zerglings are trying to take out the destructible rocks. This is really good. He was forced to make Zerglings early, so he's putting them to use. What can I do with him? I don't want him to just sit in my base. Oh, I guess I can take out his destructible rocks. Does lose one Zergling, and then he is forced to pull back by those Marines, and they are in good positions here in the corner so they can get the maximum arc on units attacking those rocks. It looks like his front is secure with a single Marine holding it down like a boss. And here comes a Hellion out of the front. And oh no, the Hellion is surrounded instantly. He's trying to run back, and it looks like these Zerglings will indeed take it out and then run away. He loses only 1 Zergling to 1 Hellion. That's 25 minerals versus 100. So that came out very well for the Zerg player, Reverent. He does already have his, is that second queen? Second queen out ready to throw up in surprise as soon as this hatchery finishes. Because really, queens have a weak stomach as far as I can tell. And look at this. there's a little thing, and boom, it explodes, and then you have a hatchery, and she just throws up in surprise. And look at that, 4 little larvae are going to be born out of that unfortunate indigestion mixed with surprise. Looks like a couple of lings just going to be probed in the front, and this siege tank is going to be way more than they can handle. And he's just going to throw them both away because he doesn't really want to get in a good advantageous position. He wants to just throw away little units here and there. So he does have both watchtowers, iRevenant, and that's very, very good. Because look at this, looks like I'll say a pair of binoculars. We'll keep it PG, but he has this good vision in the center of the map here. And it looks like now he is getting a spine crawler set up here, continuing to spread creep. He does have his 2 bases connected with creep now, and that is very good. He'll be able to reinforce with zerglings, with speedlings, and he's getting a baneling nest as well. Speed is finished. And it looks like he is getting his lair. He also has roaches that he can be building. And he is going to, with these speedlings, be making a little push. No, it doesn't look like a huge push. Just kind of poking around. Oh, it looks like he's going to go and take out his destructible rocks over here. That is indeed what he is going to do. Continuing to use those units. Okay, siege mode is done for the siege tanks, and stim is not done, but it is almost done. It's researching right now. So it looks like our Terran player is going the 4 racks, just straight racks, no add-ons except for this tech lab so he can get upgrades, and siege tanks. So marine siege tank, quite a good unit composition for our Terran, and of course he has expanded, as you can see. And ooh, interesting place for that starport. Interesting. And these zerglings, although they do take quite a while to destroy these destructible rocks, they're not doing much. And this zergling that just ran up there did see this push out, so he's going to be able to pull back with these zerglings. There they go. And we're going to have to see how he reacts to this. Looks like he is making roaches, so that's going to be very good. Also getting the glial reconstitution. Yeah, speed. He's getting speed for roaches. And here comes this push. We're going to have to see how it does. The siege tanks are sieged up. That's a really good position for these siege tanks, actually. And they're going to be shelling that spine crawler who runs home to his mommy saying, his spine is shooting at me. I'm a spine crawler. I don't like siege tanks. Okay? Now he's going to have to leapfrog these siege tanks up and hopefully get them sieged. Here comes banelings, and they are not sieged at all. And this is good kiting by the Marines, able to take out those banelings, but the roaches come in, close range with those siege tanks. 2 of them were not sieged at the beginning of the battle, and able to take 1 of them out. He did lose a lot of roaches. I'm not sure who came out quite ahead of that. And siege tank's going to be leapfrogging for it again. And Zergling's going to close range and take out that siege tank. Oh, that siege tank shot actually helped take out that other siege tank. It looks like he will lose this entire push. That is a great hold on. Look how just barely he held that as the Zerg. That is perfect. And if you look now, he is, okay, well, he is getting lots of roaches. And a few more Zerglings are going to be popping out. And the Terran is going to be building another factory, getting his additional gas, and going to be macroing pretty hard. These Zerglings and roaches are going to try to kill these destructible rocks. I'm assuming that iRevenant is going to want to expand. Yep, there's the drone, so he is going to build a hatchery soon. And if we look at the units tab, we can see that it looks like 19 Marines and 2 siege tanks and a medevac at this point for the Terran player, and lots of roaches and a few speedlings. And if you look at the drone to SCV count, that's always really good. The Terran player aLtOxygeN has done a decent job of staying even with the Zerg in drones versus SCVs, because it's always a danger if you don't put pressure on the Zerg that they can just spam drones like 10, 12 at a time and get way, way, way ahead, but they're able to stay constant, so that's good. And looks like 10 banelings being morphed somewhere on the map. Looks like probably right here. Yep, banelings with speed. So we're going to have to see how this works. These siege tanks are not sieged again, and this is the worst. Oh, no, this is not what you want to have happen. Oh, the banelings taking out all those Marines, and the roaches cleaning up the siege tanks. Those siege tanks did not siege in time and were taken out for practically nothing. And this one medevac is going to run away and tell the tale to his buddies back home. But now the Terran is in trouble. He lost his entire army, so he's going to have to, let's go back to the production tab, he's going to have to remake that entire army, and he really needs to keep those siege tanks alive. The siege tanks are the important units in his army. Meanwhile, the Zerg is getting quite a bit ahead. It is 93 supply for the Zerg to 78 supply now for the Terran, who is adding on more barracks, trying to macro. But when this hatchery finishes, and it indeed just did, and the Zerg now has access to these gold minerals, that's going to spell doom for the Terran player. He's going to have to make something happen. And now Mutalisk's out as well, so we have Zergling, Baneling, Roach, Muta for the Zerg, and for the Terran, we're looking at just still Marine, Medevac, and Siege Tank. So we're going to have to see what happens. It looks like these Mutas are going to put on a little bit of pressure at these rocks, able to take out these two Marines who've been so faithful at keeping guard this entire time, and maybe snipe this supply depot as well, although it will not put him in the red. It will make him lose his line of sight here. And now here he comes, putting a lot of pressure on these back rocks, and the Terran has to know this is going on, and he is going to be pushing out. The important thing is he's going to have to siege up these siege tanks before the engagement starts, and let's see if he can indeed do that. He is sieging, and he is stimming as well, able to snipe off one Muta and saving his rocks with just a little bit left. He's going to be really careful that those rocks don't get taken out. Otherwise, it is a very, very, very short attack path into his main, which is virtually undefended. He is throwing up a couple of missile turrets now because he sees the Mutas. Okay, meanwhile, we have more Mutas being built, more Lings being built. Looks like lots of Lings. No, level 1 attack for the Mutas being researched, and it looks like vehicles level 1 for Terran being researched, as well as many Marines. Okay, looks like, oh goodness, that's 17 Banelings being made right now. And oh, here's some Mutas doing some damage to some siege tanks and stuff. And oh, he has to keep those Marines with those siege tanks, otherwise the siege tanks are going to go down. And he does not want to lose siege tanks. There's one siege tank going down for free, and more Banelings coming in, forcing everything back. And oh my goodness, huge amounts of damage done to the Terran player. He is able to hold it off just barely, and it looks like he is reinforcing fairly well. He does have 2 siege tanks and a handful of Marines